Before a single ball was kicked at the 2026 World Cup, international media had already written America off. The narrative was set. This tournament would be a disaster. Empty seats in oversized NFL stadiums, no soccer culture, no passion, unwelcoming communities, improper venues that would never capture the magic of a true World Cup. The skepticism wasn't subtle. It was loud, persistent, and came from outlets around the globe who were convinced that America simply couldn't deliver what the beautiful game deserved. Well, the tournament just ended on July 19th. Spain lifted the trophy after defeating Argentina 1-0 in extra time at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. And now, those same skeptical voices are publishing something very different. Retrospectives admitting they got it completely wrong. Let's talk about what actually happened, because this wasn't just a successful tournament. This was a statement. This was America taking on the world's biggest sporting event and delivering numbers that shattered every expectation. First, the attendance. Remember those predictions about empty seats? The tournament drew over 6.8 million fans across 104 matches. But here's the kicker. Venues operated at 99.7% capacity, not 90%, not even 95%, 99.7%. That's essentially every single seat filled for every single match. That's not just good. That's historic. The viewership numbers tell an even more dramatic story. The final between Spain and Argentina drew 38.9 million viewers on Fox alone. When you add Telemundo and Peacock, that jumps to 62.8 million combined viewers, making it the most watched soccer telecast in United States history. Let that sink in. The most watched ever. And it wasn't just the final. The tournament averaged over 7.7 million viewers across Fox, FS1, and Tubi for all 104 matches. That's up 116% compared to 2022. We're talking about more than doubling the viewership from the previous World Cup. But numbers only tell part of the story. What really shut down the skeptics was the atmosphere, the culture, the experience that international visitors actually had when they came to America for this tournament. The U.S. Travel Association conducted a study of international visitors, and the results are remarkable. 91% said they were glad they made the trip. But here's the stat that really matters for the long-term narrative. Nearly two-thirds of visitors returned home with a more favorable opinion of America. Think about that. These weren't just satisfied customers at a sporting event. These were people whose entire perception of the United States changed because of what they experienced here. The tournament completely dispelled pre-tournament fears and turned into what observers are now calling a massive, unexpectedly festive cultural exchange. This wasn't Americans trying to fake soccer passion or awkwardly hosting something they didn't understand. This was genuine cultural fusion. American fans embracing international teams, international fans discovering American sports culture. Moments like the Viking Row celebration going viral with 172 million views on TikTok, capturing global imagination. This was the first World Cup with 48 teams, the first co-hosted by 3 countries, the United States, Canada, and Mexico, and it ran from June 11th through July 19th. The expanded format, the ambitious logistical coordination across 3 nations, the massive geographic scope, all of it was cited as potential disaster points before the tournament. All of it worked. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. All 3 host nations were eliminated in the round of 16. The U.S. lost to Belgium 4-1 on July 6th in a match that still drew 30 million viewers on Fox, despite the lopsided result. You could argue that host nation success would have made the tournament even bigger. But here's what's remarkable. It didn't matter. The tournament's success didn't depend on American, Canadian, or Mexican advancement. It succeeded on the strength of the atmosphere, the organization, the fan experience, and yes, the American audience's willingness to embrace great soccer, regardless of who was playing. That's actually the most important part of this story. The skeptics assumed American interest in soccer was conditional, shallow, that fans would only show up for Team USA and disappear when they were eliminated. Instead, viewership kept climbing. Stadiums stayed packed. The final became the most watched soccer broadcast in U.S. history, featuring 2 teams with no American players. What we're seeing now in international media coverage is something between grudging respect and genuine surprise. The narrative has completely flipped. The pre-tournament articles warning about American inadequacy have been replaced by retrospectives praising the unexpected success, the atmosphere that exceeded expectations, the American fan culture that turned out to be far more sophisticated and passionate than anyone predicted. The phrase showing up in coverage that the planet was wrong isn't just spin. It's an acknowledgement that the global soccer community badly misjudged what would happen when the World Cup came to America. They misjudged American interest in the sport. They misjudged the infrastructure. They misjudged the fan experience. And perhaps most importantly, they misjudged America's ability to make international visitors feel welcome and create an authentic World Cup atmosphere. So what does this mean going forward? For starters, it fundamentally changes the conversation about soccer in America. The doubters can't claim Americans don't care about the sport when we just delivered record viewership numbers. They can't claim we lack the infrastructure when we operated at essentially perfect capacity across dozens of venues. They can't claim we don't understand the culture when international visitors overwhelmingly reported positive experiences and changed opinions about America. This tournament was a validation, not just of American soccer fandom, but of American sports culture's ability to embrace, understand, and elevate global competitions. The NFL goes international in September, and we'll be covering how American football lands on the world stage. But this World Cup just proved something important. When America commits to hosting the world, we don't just meet expectations, we shatter them. The skeptics predicted disaster. They got history instead, and now they're writing articles admitting they were wrong. Sometimes the best response to doubters isn't an argument. It's results, and America just delivered results that speak louder than any pre-tournament criticism ever could. The planet was wrong, and the numbers prove it.